Hi guys, thank you so much for joining me. So today I'm going to do a tutorial of a spread that's halfway through. A lot of times I think, I try to think what would be helpful to somebody watching this video. And as much as a lot of people want to see what happens right in the beginning of this spread, I also think it's really valuable to see something halfway through. So I started working on this and then I got kind of frustrated. I wasn't happy with this face over here, so I covered it up with collage and then I just left it alone for a while, and now I'm coming back to it. And this is my Venezia book by Fabriano, and I just absolutely love this book. It's got the pages are really beautiful. The paper is really thick and it can take lots of different media. So I am now working through this very first page right here. So what I want to do is I'm going to go from this page to that page, and I think first off I'm just going to draw some of the features, the facial features here. So I'm going to sketch in the eyes, and I'm using a Stabilo blue pencil, and I'm just using a dry for now. And I kind of want the eyes to be like, I want her to be looking over here. I just kind of have that feeling. So I'm going to place the pupils like so. And I'm just sketching in the features. I don't want it to be too tight right now. And the great thing about these Stabilo pencils is if you don't like something, just grab a paper towel, dip it in water, and you can just wipe the whole thing off. So that's a really great thing. And so I'm just gonna kind of go like that. So I think I'm pleased with where this page is coming, but this page is kind of giving me some issues. I don't know why, but I'm just not really happy with it. So what we're gonna do is I'm just gonna start building up her skin tone right here. And I'm using the Liquitex ink in burnt sienna, transparent burnt sienna. But I've mentioned before that depending on, what color of human that you are painting, you would use a different color. So you might want to use a lighter color or a darker color. That color just works for me. And so I'm just kind of building up her face right there. And I just love using my fingers to smush everything in. And just let it kind of So I'm not sure if this spread will be complete in this video, or if this is just going to be like, say, midway through, and then I'm gonna have an end process to it as well. I'm never sure of what's gonna happen. So what I'm gonna do now is I am going to use my marker here, and this is a Colorilla marker. I'm not sure, I just try out all sorts of different things. And I'm just gonna I'm just gonna like sketch in her lips with this marker to give it some, like, its definition. And I want to bring in some definition to her face because everything's looking a bit too flat over there. So I'm gonna mix some of this burnt sienna with a lighter color. And I'm really kind of liking her. She looks like she has a bit of, like, I like the expression on her face. And there we go. So I don't want this to be too tight. I want it to be somewhat painterly and loose. I don't know if that's gonna happen, but that's my goal anyways. Okay, so I'm gonna leave that alone for now and just kind of let that dry. And now sometimes I need to put lots of layers on here, and I'm not sure if I want some of the collage. There's writing, it's text, it's a page from a dictionary that I put down here. So I'm not sure if that's gonna show through or if I want to cover it up with thicker paint. Right now I'm just kind of trying to build up her face a little bit here. And trying not to get too fussy, but I have a tendency to kind of obsess about it, and then it just gets so like tight, and I try not to do that, but sometimes it just kind of happens. And now I'm gonna work on this piece over here, which is like her dress or her robes or whatever it is, but I'm gonna go with this orange because I just love this orange. So I think I'm gonna bring some of this orange into her skin. It's just a good way to tie the robe with her face. So, you know, when you're looking at the page, it'll move your eye around the page. So I'm just gonna bring some of that orange in there, like that. And I might even bring some of that orange in over here. So I talked about this in one of my other videos, but when I have a little bit of extra paint on my brush, what I like to do is just reach over into my collage stash and just pick a piece of collage and just kind of wipe my paint off of it, make some marks. And then the next time when I am looking for some collage, this might be the perfect piece that I need to go onto my page. And besides, it's just a great way of not wasting your paint. It's also just a really great way to add your own marks onto your collage without a lot of extra effort, because I mean, it's no effort to just go, you know, just spreading some paint on there. That requires almost no effort. So you're not overthinking it or anything, you're just kind of cleaning up your brush on there. But this piece could be really perfect for another piece of your art. It's just a minor thing. So anyways, I am going to work on the face here, and I'm really liking that orange over there and the way it really kind of like moves my eye from the bottom to the top there, and I'm really loving that so far. So what I am going to do now is try to work on the face over here. And I'm not really sure if I want her eyes open or closed or looking this way at her. I don't know if I want that. I'm not sure. So I am going to just pencil in her facial features. And I'm just going to leave the eyes alone for now because I don't know if I want it open or closed. So I'll try to work on other aspects of the page. I'm really not sure if I should, part of me just wants to cover this whole page up here and just add text on here and just like write on it. I'm not sure. I'm not really sure. I don't know. I'm just gonna work it, and if it gets too stilted, I'm gonna cover the whole thing up maybe. But we'll see how it goes. Okay, that's not too bad. And honestly, I think what's throwing me off is the hair part. I'm not really feeling the hair so much there. So what I'm gonna do is maybe play around with some collage and see if maybe I can make a headpiece for her, and maybe that might work out better. Maybe, I'm not sure. But that's the whole thing about mixed media, is there's so much experimentation, and you know, you just never know what is going to transpire. Well, at least I don't anyways when I'm working. I might have an image in my mind and then it never turns out that way, which is fine because that's half of the joy and excitement about mixed media, is I never really know what's going to happen and how it's going to turn out. So let me see if this would work. And actually, that's not too bad. That is not too bad at all. So I might do something like that and just cover up this whole space with my chalk paint. So I think I'm gonna try that out. So sometimes what happens is, like, I really love these patterns over here and the color and just the lines and the dots, and I really love it and I don't want to get rid of it, but sometimes I need to get rid of stuff that I like. It's just one of those things, because if it doesn't serve the painting as a whole, then I need to get rid of it. But it is hard though, because I want to keep it. So I'll try to keep it, but if it's just not gonna work, it's not gonna work. So I am gonna have to cover this up here. I know I don't want to, but it's gotta go. I might try to keep a little bit of it if I can. And I'm probably gonna have to add like a couple of coats to this to get it completely covered up. Okay, so now I'm gonna have to let this completely dry before I can add that piece of collage on the top of her head. But I think I'm liking this a lot more here. I think I'm liking her face a lot more now that I've gotten rid of what was going to be her hair. So I am going to go like that and just let that completely dry. So in the meantime, I am going to be working on this side of the page, and I'm going to be working on her eyes. So I'm using a really fine tip paintbrush, and I'm using the Waverly chalk paint in ink, and it's a really rich black. So I'm just going to add some definition here to her eyes. And I'm really liking that the inside of her pupil is orange. I don't know, I didn't plan on keeping it that way, but I think I might want to because I just really love that. And so I'm just gonna kind of go like that. I don't want to overwork any of this. I just want it to be like really more on the looser side. And what I'm going to do is I have Posca markers, and this one is in a light blue. So I think what I'm going to do is just very lightly kind of give this some definition. And I don't know if I want to, maybe a little bit like that. Okay, now I better give her some eyebrows because she's gonna need them. And sometimes I always leave the eyebrows for last. I mean, let me sketch it in here in this stabilo to make sure I am happy with the placement before I add pen. So okay, now I don't know about her face. I'm not sure. It's looking a bit odd to me, and I don't know if that's because I put so much collage underneath that it's not a flat surface anymore. It is kind of, it is a bit bulky because I did add lots of layers of collage, and that can happen sometimes, but it's not a big deal. We are gonna try to see what we can do with this. I think I'm gonna cover all of that up there. Okay. Okay, that's just going to give me an idea of where the mouth is going to be. And maybe okay, now let me see where this can go. And the background isn't completely dry, but that's okay. I am just going to go like that. So again, I'm going to use my marker over here and just give some definition to her lips. And I don't want it to be too tight, as I'm overworking this while I'm saying I don't want it too tight, but I keep on just working it and working it, but sometimes that happens, so I gotta be okay with it. And I'm gonna put a bindi on her over here. So now I'm gonna wait for all of this to completely dry, and then maybe I'm going to add some text on the background, or what I did over here is I just dipped a paintbrush, a really fine paintbrush, in my chalk paint in the cashew, which is almost a white color, and I just made some dots over there. And I might do the same thing over here. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if I want to do the same thing. But what I'm going to do is just let it dry and then see if I want to carry that over onto this page as well. See, because that's what I did over here. And then what I did is I added a very light layer of this Liquitex Burnt Sienna over top of it, so it kind of pushed some of it in the background, so it's not so prominent. So I'm not sure if I want to do that here, so I'll just leave it like that and kind of see how I feel when I come back. So this is a mid-stage work in progress, I guess, and this is the the mid layer of it, so it's not complete. I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna complete it, but sometimes it helps when I just leave everything just overnight or for a couple of days, and then I come back and then I go, oh, I want to do this or I want to do that, and I get some perspective on the layout. So I hope this was helpful in some way. I know a lot of times people love looking at the beginning stages of a piece of art, but I think all stages are important, and I think there are some important things that happen in all stages. So anyways, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Okay, bye.